All right, cool. Yeah, today we're gonna go over the plan for the week and then cover some notes and then our assignment for today. I didn't put the assignment up yet, just because I forgot. So as soon as we're done with this meeting, I'll put all the assignments up for the week, and then you guys can get started on those. But it's gonna be like 10 minutes once we finish to do that. So again, just gonna do like I always do. Go to the plan for the week, and again, this is the best way to get everything that you need. Everything's gonna be right here today. We're in the Zoom right now, and then this mood and tone stuff I'm just gonna cover now while you guys are here. Your assignment for today, we're gonna start working on this text, The Hitchhiker. We're gonna be spending this week and then next week on it. Next week we'll watch, we'll actually like read it, and there's a video version of it that we'll be watching. So we'll start with that today. We have for today, you got these mood and tone notes, which I'll go through quickly, and then the Hitchhiker text, which is what we'll be using for the next couple weeks. And then today we're just doing this vocab assignment. Tomorrow, I'll have another live Zoom just to talk about, kind of review some things from today and then explain the story a little bit because we won't have time to today. And then office hours tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do, we're going to cover mood today. So we'll do something with that, with the Hitchhiker tomorrow. And that's what this mood and plot assignment is. Wednesday, there's a video that I'm going to send you guys that we're going to do a little activity with. It's just a YouTube video. And we'll kind of analyze it, talk about the mood and things like that. Mood analysis video assignment. So there's a link for everything. There's a video link, just takes you to YouTube. And then that mood sheet. Thursday, no video or anything. We have a vocab choice assignment, which I'll talk about Tuesday. So for our vocab list 17 that we got a couple weeks ago, you guys did the Foursquare with it. I'm going to give you guys a choice to either do vocab sentences or you basically make a story that has all the vocab words. Those are really self-explanatory. So I probably won't take too much time to talk about them. And then Friday, office hours from 9 to 10, if you got questions. And then, let these people in. Yeah, so Friday, there's this Nearpod lesson, which is something that we're going to be using for the first time. I want you to stress about it like it's some new thing. You're going to access it through Schoology, like you would anything else that I send you guys. And it's like a slideshow presentation type thing that you click through each different, I think it's like 8 slides or something. Each slide has like different things like to click on and questions and things like that. So that's just kind of one of these simple little review things that we're going to start doing. So this Friday, you might have questions. It might not work smoothly. The very first time. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to keep doing it and keep using it, and it'll be something that, eventually we get used to. All right, so we'll start off here talking about mood and tone. So this is another one of those things that in 8th grade we covered at the beginning, and then it comes up again and again, throughout the years we go through these, different stories and whatnot. So we'll cover all these things: mood, tone, foreshadowing, suspense, and irony. So mood and tone, there's a difference between the two things, right? And I don't want you guys to get them confused. Mood is a feeling the writer creates for the reader. So as you read a text, watch a movie, watch a show, whatever, the mood is what you feel as you consume that content, right? Now, the author intends you to feel a certain kind of mood, but it's ultimately what you feel, right, as the person consuming that content. So a writer uses details to create this feeling. The setting a lot of times is used to set a mood of a story. If it's set in an abandoned building in the middle of the night, you get a different kind of mood as opposed to one set in someone's house in the morning, right, in the sunshine and things like that. And again, mood's determined by the response of the reader. So for mood, this is what you feel. And just real quick, these notes, I don't have you guys copy anything down. I just leave them on Schoology so you guys can get to them. But This will be something that we'll want to use on our assignments for this week. So again, mood is like what you feel. Some more things about it. A writer has many tools to shape the mood of a text, including details, descriptive words, so like how they paint the picture, right, of a setting, maybe what a character looks like, dialogue, spoken words between characters, imagery. So again, making kind of goes with descriptive words, like using very specific ideas, right, to paint that mental picture in your guy's head. Setting we talked about, and then foreshadowing, which we'll talk about by itself here in a little bit. It's kind of like giving hints to things that are going to happen later. But again, big takeaway from mood is this is what you feel, right? If it's a horror movie like The Mummy right here, they start right off the bat, even in the exposition, and start setting the mood for that story. Even if we don't know what the conflict is, mood is usually established right off the bat, right? That we're going to at least know that there's some type of threat, some type of danger. So again, with foreshadowing, we mentioned that just a second ago. So this is giving hints about what might happen later in order to create suspense and make the reader feel anxious about what might happen next. So in a film, in a text or whatever, they're just giving a hint, right? Saying that, some danger might happen to a character by just mentioning. And by mentioning it, it puts that idea in your head as the reader or as the viewer that this character might be in some danger. Writers often use foreshadowing to shape the mood of a story. So if they foreshadow some type of danger, right, or some threat to somebody's life, then they're using foreshadowing. That helps to establish a certain mood in a story, right? If that, maybe the mood would be sinister or threatening, right? If that's the case. And just this example in Avengers Endgame, when Tony's talking to Steve Rogers right here, he says kind of as a joke, I'll do whatever. I'd like to not end up dead. And you know how Tony Stark is, like he says it sarcastically, but then he ends up dying later in the movie. Sorry if I spoiled that 2-year-old movie for you, but that's foreshadowing, right? It's not like he's saying I'm going to die because of blank, blank. No, he just kind of says it as a joke, but it does put that idea in the viewer's mind early on before that thing happens. So now we know that, hey, this might be even a possibility. Tone gets wrapped up with mood all the time, but they are different, right? So tone describes a writer's attitude toward a subject, right? So this is a feeling that's coming from the writer. It affects mood, definitely, but this is what the writer feels, as opposed to where mood is what we feel. So a writer uses a serious tone with something important to them, and then uses a humorous tone to something not as important to them. Tone, again, it's the writer's attitude. So, if the writer's talking about something that's important to them, maybe you see this in newspapers, maybe if it's like a political idea or something like that, they're going to use a different tone with something that they support. And then maybe they might be more critical of something that they are against, right? Maybe if it's a political candidate or something like that. But you can read a piece, even if they're supposed to be being objective, just giving the facts, and you can get an idea of how they feel about a subject or a candidate and a proposal, something like that. You can get an idea what they feel based on the tone that they use. The tone of a piece of writing reflects the author's attitude towards a subject. It affects the author's purpose. If the author's purpose is to entertain, the tone may be playful. And if the author's purpose is to inform, the tone may be serious. So this example, the autobiography of Malcolm X, and this was retold by an author named Alex Haley. The tone in which he describes Malcolm X is going to be respectful. It's going to be cordial, right? Because this person's important to him. He's not going to be overly critical of him. He's not going to be speak about him harshly and use derogatory terms or anything like that. He's going to be respectful. So as you read the text, without him coming out and saying it, you get the idea that he respects Malcolm X, right? He's important to him. And again, a lot of these things are just taking text and going deeper than just what the actual text says, right? Super important. Suspense, this is something that we're going to cover now. And then later on in the year, we're going to go way deeper into this. This is a feeling of growing tension and excitement as rising action builds towards the climax. As things get more exciting in a story. The author tries to create suspense, and this could be used in a lot of different ways. It's a really easy way to get the viewer, reader, whatever, invested in a text, right? It just keeps you wondering what's going to happen next, which is, again, it's just a way to keep people reading. Again, we'll talk more about this later. Let's cover it like that today. Suspense is created by raising questions in the reader's minds, creating uncertainty, right? So just what's going to happen? How is this going to be resolved? Foreshadowing, we talked a little bit about, giving those hints and then creating mystery. Infinity War is a good example of the, you can think about the way that it left off, like the bad guy won, right? That doesn't happen very often. So in the time, the year that we waited for Endgame to come out, we had a year of suspense because there was that uncertainty of how, we're used to the good guys winning and we're just unsure what that was going to look like. So that brought people back to go and see Endgame, right? To answer those questions, right? To solve that mystery of how the good guys are going to win. And then really quickly, we'll talk about irony. If you had me in 7th grade last year, we covered this. And this is something we'll practice with a lot. So there's 3 types of irony, and irony is just the difference between what's expected and what actually happens. So there's 3 types: verbal, dramatic, and situational. Verbal irony, character says one thing but suggests or intends another. So, this is just sarcasm, right? Which I use a lot at home, especially. Here's an example. Great job out there, the coach said sarcastically. Maybe, if you're wrestling, you went out there and got pinned in the first period, they might say, oh yeah, good job, but they might say it sarcastically. Dramatic irony is the contrast between what a character believes and what the reader knows to be true, or the viewer, right? If it's a movie. So an example, knowing where the killer is in a horror movie, maybe, that a character's lying, but the character who they're talking to doesn't know that they're lying. It's just when you as the audience know more than the characters in the story, because you get to see everything, right? And then situational, when an event's outcome is different from what is expected. An example, just a barber having a bad haircut, right? Or maybe a teacher being really stupid, or maybe, you got a dentist that has really bad teeth. So again, we'll kind of quickly review that stuff tomorrow, but I think for today, we probably got enough. Let's look at this vocabulary assignment just quickly. So I'll open up both of these things. I'll open up the text so you can see that, and then I'll open up the vocab assignment. I'm going to move this down because I'm losing it. All right. So the text, it looks like, great rat hunt, born worker. It's set up the same way. The most important thing for the vocab, it's down here. They're just going to be at the bottom of the text. Say one of the words is assurance. There's your definition, right? Guarantee or pledge. And then some of them, like phosphorescent, they're kind of floating up towards the bottom, but a little bit above the bottom, right? So they're going to be at the bottoms of the text. You guys should have no problem finding them. Here's your pre-reading assignment. So they have these 2 questions for you guys to answer. Why do you think horror stories or stories made to scare people have always been so popular? Why might these stories appeal to people? Because, year after year, horror movies and movies of that genre, they make more money than any other type of movie compared by genre. And a lot of them aren't really that good, right? They're not the best movies, but people still go to see them for whatever reason. I think people just like to be scared, right? That's how I would answer that. And then 2, what's an example of a movie/story that made you feel tense? What did the author or director do to make you feel that way? So if you're feeling tense in a movie, if it's suspenseful, it's because of what the author is doing on purpose. So just give me an example of that and what they did. Here's your vocab. So you're just going to, as you go through the text, just type in those definitions, super easy. And then for this page, it's got 2 little practice things to do. So description, they'll give you a description of one of these 5 words: accelerator, assurance, lark, nondescript, sinister. Again, definitions are in the text. They give you this description, then you just have to find which word best fits with that definition, okay? And then same thing here. This might be kind of tricky. They give you guys like a phrase that goes with that word. And then you just, whatever the word to know is, just type it in there and then submit that, you know, by tomorrow if you get it done. But yeah, that should be it for today. Yeah, that should be it for today. I think we should be good. Let me stop screen sharing so I can see all you guys. Anybody have, oh yeah, Joe, that you'll be able to type on that. So moving forward, unless I say otherwise, everything that I send you guys, you'll be able to type on it. You just got to save it like as a Word document or something like that. So just make sure you guys are doing that. And if you are, I know I said this last week, but I wanted to say it when when more people are here. If you're submitting an assignment, like through the assignment, you got to use, or if you're sending pictures, send the pictures to me like in a message, right? Because if you submit photos of your assignment, it always only shows one, like the first photo that you send. So again, let's make sure you guys are submitting those to me. As soon as we're done with this video, it'll be